Love after 60. Older men watch this one thing to decide if you're the one. Welcome to Wise Life After 60. So grateful to have you here. You think it's the smile, the outfit, the way you laugh at his stories. But that's not it. When it comes to love after 60, when an older man is quietly deciding if you're the one, he's watching something else. Something you don't even realize you're showing him. The truth is, the early days of dating after 60 feel exciting. The spark, the butterflies, the joy of being noticed again. But while you're caught in that sweetness, he's testing something deeper, not in a cruel way, but in a quiet way. He's looking for the signal that tells him, can I trust her? Is she the partner I can lean on when life isn't easy? Because here's what most women don't know. Attraction gets his attention, but trust makes him stay. And trust isn't built when everything is perfect. It's revealed in the imperfect moments, in the way you react when the night doesn't go to plan, when life throws something unexpected. That is what men notice most. That is what separates a passing romance from a love that lasts. And today, I'm going to show you the 5 things he watches, the 5 quiet signs that tell him if you are truly the one. Stay with me, because once you understand this, everything about senior romance and dating after 60 begins to make sense. Before we go further, I'd love for you to subscribe to Wise Life After 60, where we share the hidden things older men quietly notice, the gentle truths that make a woman unforgettable, and the real secrets of love after 60 that no one talks about. And now, let's step into the first thing he's watching, the one silent measure that can change everything. Thing number 1. How you handle difficult moments. I've learned something over the years, something that most women don't realize. A man may admire your beauty, enjoy your laugh, or even be drawn to your confidence. But when an older man is deciding if you're truly the one, what he is quietly watching is how you handle the hard moments. Not the smiles during dinner, not the easy days when everything flows, but the little cracks in life where disappointment or frustration shows up. Imagine this. You're out on a long-awaited evening, excited to spend time together. But when you arrive, the reservation is gone, the tables are full, and suddenly the night is not what you had hoped for. I've been there myself, and I can tell you, in that small instant, what matters to him isn't the restaurant or even the food. It's how you respond. Do you sigh and say nothing but hold your anger? Do you lash out, placing the blame squarely on him? Or do you take a breath, laugh softly, and find another way forward together? He's not looking for perfection. He's not expecting you to be endlessly cheerful. What he's searching for is emotional steadiness. A woman who can feel upset without letting that upset break the bond between them. Because life after 60 teaches us one thing above all. Storms will come. Illness, family tension, money worries, unexpected loss. These are not if, they are when. And so in those tiny everyday inconveniences, an older man is already asking himself a bigger question. When life gets truly hard, will she stand with me or will she stand against me? I once heard someone say, character is how you act when the story doesn't go your way. That is what he sees. If every delay, every mistake, every small annoyance turns into an explosion, he feels it deeply in his nervous system. He doesn't feel safe. But if you can stay present, if you can say, "I'm disappointed, but I'm glad we're here together," then he feels something else entirely. He feels at home. He feels he can trust you. And trust is what makes a man stay. Not just chemistry, not just attraction, but the deep knowledge that in the mess of real life, you won't abandon him emotionally. You'll walk through it with him. That is the first quiet measure of the heart, and it often tells him more than words ever could. And once a man senses that steadiness, he quietly looks for something else, something softer, but just as powerful. It's the feeling that tells him not only that he can weather storms with you, but also that he can rest, breathe, and still feel that spark of life by your side. Thing number 2. Comfort and peace, with a spark of chemistry. Have you ever wondered why some women feel magnetic even in the quietest of moments, while others fade into the background no matter how hard they try? An older man may enjoy beauty, style, and charm, but what holds his heart steady is something deeper. He is watching whether your presence gives him peace or leaves him unsettled. At this stage of life, when we talk about love after 60 and dating after 60, men are no longer chasing chaos. They are searching for that rare balance between comfort and connection. The woman who makes him feel he can let his shoulders drop, speak freely, and simply be himself is the one who stands out. Because with her, he is not playing a role. He is at home. But here is the paradox. Comfort by itself is not enough. Without a spark, without that subtle pull of attraction, the relationship begins to feel flat. He doesn't want only peace, because peace without chemistry feels more like friendship than romance. And he doesn't want only passion, because passion without peace leaves him restless. What he truly notices is whether you carry both, the calm of companionship and the fire of connection. This is why so many senior dating tips fall short. They tell women to either be easygoing or keep the excitement alive. But an older man who has lived through decades of trial and error knows it is not one or the other. It is both. He is quietly asking himself, does she make me feel safe, yet still feel alive? Let me pause here to ask you something. Have you ever felt that kind of balance with someone, where you could exhale and yet still feel that little spark of joy inside? I'd love for you to share your story in the comments. Sometimes your experiences are the wisdom that another woman needs to hear. And here is the quiet truth. When he finds a woman who offers both comfort and spark, he doesn't just enjoy her company, he treasures her. Because such a connection is rare. It reminds him of what makes love worth keeping even after 60, even after all the years that have passed. When a man feels both peace and spark in your presence, he doesn't stop there. His thoughts begin to drift toward the future, toward whether the life you both imagine could truly walk side by side. Thing number 3. Shared values and life vision. There comes a time in every man's heart when attraction and comfort are not enough. An older man, when he begins to think about giving his trust, listens closely for something else. He is asking himself quietly, do we share the same vision of life? Do our values pull us in the same direction, or will they slowly pull us apart? I once knew a couple in their 70s, Harold and Evelyn. On the surface, they were wonderful together. They laughed often, enjoyed traveling, and even took up dancing at the community center. But in time, it became clear that their deeper values didn't align. Harold longed for a quieter life, saving money for his grandchildren's education, while Evelyn dreamed of selling the house and spending freely on adventures. Neither was wrong, but over the years, the constant friction over choices, big and small, took its toll. They loved each other, but they were rowing in opposite directions. This is why dating after 60 requires more than sparks. It requires clarity about what truly matters. An older man watches closely how you talk about family, health, faith, or even how you spend your mornings. Are you someone who treasures stillness, or someone who thrives on activity? Do you see the future as time for building or time for enjoying what has already been built? The great philosopher Aristotle once said, "Love is composed of a single soul inhabiting two bodies." At this age, it does not mean sameness in every detail. It means harmony of direction. A man doesn't need a woman who mirrors him in everything, but he is searching for the one whose values run parallel, so that when life stretches forward, they walk the same road rather than pulling each other off course. In senior romance, these questions matter more than people often admit. A younger couple can survive on passion, even when their futures are hazy. But an older couple knows time is precious. The years ahead are too valuable to spend fighting about what kind of life to live. So when a man is deciding if you are truly the one, he is listening for those clues. Not just what you say, but how you live. When he senses that your values and vision align with his, something in him relaxes. He no longer wonders whether your dreams will compete with his. Instead, he begins to imagine them weaving together into one story. And that picture is powerful enough to carry him forward to the next question in his heart. Thing number 4, how you treat others. One of the quietest tests a man carries in his heart is this: how does she treat the people around her? Not him, not the friends she wishes to impress, but the everyday souls who cross her path. An older man, when he is considering if you are truly the one, notices the tone of your voice with a waiter, the patience you offer to a neighbor, the kindness you show to someone who cannot offer you anything in return. Because at this stage of love after 60, it is not just charm that matters. Charm can be rehearsed, but character is revealed in unguarded moments. A man who has lived through decades knows this difference well. He is not simply asking, "Does she make me happy?" He is asking, "Does her way of being in the world create respect? Or does it create fear and tension?" Philosophers across time have taught this truth. The Stoic Epictetus once said, "What is noble is always rare." And true nobility is not in status, but in how we treat those who have none. An older man, whether he speaks it aloud or not, feels more at peace when he knows the woman beside him honors people in every station of life. Because if she carries dignity toward strangers, he can trust that she will carry dignity toward him when the years grow harder. This is not about politeness alone. Politeness can be thin. What he watches for is the deeper posture of the heart. Do you listen with attention or dismiss quickly? Do you soften when others falter, or do you strike with criticism? These answers form a picture of the life he will live by your side. Let me ask you gently, have you ever noticed this in your own life? Is that the way someone treated a stranger told you everything you needed to know about their soul? I'd love to hear your stories in the comments, because your wisdom may shine a light for another woman who is searching for clarity. And when a man sees this quality in you, when he feels that your kindness is not a performance, but a way of being, his respect deepens, his trust grows, and then his heart turns toward the final question, the one that decides not just whether he will stay, but whether he will rise into the best version of himself beside you.
Thing number 5, do you make him a better man? I remember a friend of mine, James, who married again in his 60s. Before he met his wife, he was drifting, watching television late into the night, eating whatever was easy, losing interest in the things that once made him alive. But after she came into his life, everything changed. He started walking again in the mornings. He cleaned up his eating, and he even picked up his old guitar. I asked him once, "What happened?" And he just smiled and said, "She makes me want to be better." That's the quiet truth most people miss. An older man is not looking for perfection, and he is not fooled by appearances. At this stage, he has seen enough to know that beauty fades, sparks cool, and even the best planned days go wrong. What lasts, what truly decides if you are the one, is whether your presence lifts him or drains him. Does he walk away from you with his shoulders heavier, or does he walk away with his spirit lighter? Because in love after 60, men are not seeking someone to fix them, but they are searching for someone who inspires them to rise. It is the difference between a partner who pulls him into complaints and one who pulls him toward gratitude, between a partner who feeds his fears and one who sparks his courage, between a partner who echoes the past and one who draws out his best future. This is why so many senior dating tips talk about being a high-value woman. But let's strip away the buzzwords. What men truly want is simple. They want to know, do I become more of myself beside her or less? Does she help me live smaller, or does she remind me that life, even now, can still expand? You can see the logic of it. A man who feels stronger with you will never want to leave you. A man who feels weaker will slowly retreat. This is not about flattery or control. It is about the invisible current you bring into his days. If he feels that current lifting him upward, he doesn't just stay, he commits, fully and without hesitation. Think about James again. He wasn't pushed or forced. He was drawn. That is the power of the right woman. She doesn't just decorate his life, she transforms it by reminding him of the best parts of himself. And when an older man, in the quiet of his heart, realizes that you are that woman, he no longer wonders if you are the one. He knows. And that realization is what carries us to the closing thought, the deeper heart of why all of this matters, and what it means for you right now, in this season of your life.
So here we are, at the quiet heart of the matter. For many women, the question has always been, how do I know if I am truly the one for him? But as we've walked through these reflections together, the answer is clearer. An older man is not looking for a woman who is flawless. He is watching how you face the storms of life. He is listening for whether your presence brings peace and spark. He is noticing if your values run in the same direction as his. He is paying attention to how you treat those who cannot give you anything back. And finally, he is asking himself whether you inspire him to rise higher than before. This is what love after 60 really means. It is not about proving yourself or competing with youth or playing games of attraction. It is about becoming the kind of woman whose presence feels like home, whose spirit draws out the best in others, whose love brings dignity and trust. These are the truths that stand when the years grow long. I believe this is why so many relationships at this age carry a deeper weight. They are not built on illusions, but on lived experience, on the wisdom that beauty fades, time is precious, and real companionship is sacred. When a man watches these 5 quiet things and sees them in you, he doesn't just stay. He knows without doubt that you are the one. If this message has spoken to you, I hope you'll like this video, share it with a friend, and subscribe to Wise Life After 60. More than that, I'd love for you to continue the conversation in the comments. Your story, your wisdom, your reflections, they may be the light another woman needs tonight. For now, hold close to your wisdom and let it guide your days.